5 First Alert Weather Severe Weather Update.
So it is currently 12:12 right now. I want to give you all an update on these severe storms that are moving to the east here pretty quickly at about 40 miles per hour or so. There are 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Both of these are going to be warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Looking at the last couple of scans here, though, there are still some pockets of hail, but notice how the pink is starting to shrink down a little bit. So the hail sizes may be coming down, but the wind threat is still going to be an issue. Let's check in with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and Storm Command down in Pauls Valley right now. Mike, what's the situation like in town?
Yeah, we're right here on the north side of Pauls Valley, and the storm is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Now, we haven't seen hail with it at this time, and it looks like maybe the core of winds that prompted that warning may have weakened just a little bit. There are some stronger winds back to our southwest, back down near Tatum's, though, and that just came through Velma. So severe thunderstorm warning continues here for a bit. I don't know if they'll reissue it unless this storm re-intensifies, but Damon, I don't know if the lightning is just crazy coming in, so it's going to be very loud around Pauls Valley and Wynnewood here for a while.
Yeah, we can definitely see all that lightning there in Pauls Valley right now with these storms that are making their way through here. So looking back over at the radar right now, we do see that area of at least enhanced winds right now, just north of or just very close to Velma. So I've been getting a lot of messages from people that have been asking, hey, look, we're down in the Sulphur, Davis area. What do I need to know about these storms that are coming in right now? There are some pockets of strong winds that are going to be in there. And so we're going to continue to watch that as it moves to the east here. So once again, showing you the big picture right now, there aren't a lot of storms out there right now. I mean, we have this cluster that is going to be between Lindsay, Sulphur, and Pauls Valley. And then we have these storms that are going to be down across southern and southeastern Oklahoma. Very interesting, though, is that there have been some really strong non-thunderstorm winds that have been ongoing out there. As a matter of fact, looking up onto the north side as we head in towards around Lexington or so, Nick Smith, let me go out to Nick Smith right now. Nick, the storms are actually south of you, but there have been some strong winds on the north side. What's the situation like in Lexington right now?
Yeah, so right now we're getting intermittent, 30, 35-mile-an-hour wind gust. We're getting one of those areas where it's picking up right now. But, Damien, the good thing is we had a report earlier that there was power out here in Lexington. We drove around. I talked to the fire department here, and they were out cleaning up some of the debris from tree limbs being down. But power's back on across this area for the most part that he knew about, and I can see lights as I pan the 360 cam over. But we are getting some of those winds, and there was some tree limbs down. But some of that stronger winds is not mixing down to the surface right now, so that's a really good thing. Back to you.
Okay, some areas where the strong winds are making it down to the ground. 73 mile per hour wind gusts here very close to Velma, and so brand new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for 70-mile-an-hour winds for this storm right here that is going to include, so now Davis and Sulphur, you are now in a severe thunderstorm warning for this right here for Garvin County here. This goes until 1 a.m. Let me get the latest information on this right here. See how fast this is currently moving to the east here. So moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. So this is not going to be with us for very long here, but I mean 73 mile per hour winds, those are intense. So let me go ahead and track this area of the winds. I'm just gonna go ahead and track it in the Sulphur here, and let me just update the speed here in just a second here. So that is going to, let's see, right now it is currently 12:16. This will come in the Sulphur in the next 30 minutes or so. So here you go. 70-mile-an-hour winds with this cell coming into Brady at 12:19. Wynnewood at 12:28. That's 12 minutes from now. Sulphur 12:45. And then we go down towards Roth and Fitzhugh here about 12:50 to 12:55. Let me go back out to Michael Armstrong at Storm Command. Michael, 73-mile-an-hour winds just south of you. What's the update from Storm Command here, Michael?
Yeah, so, Damon, that's that core of winds I was telling you about southwest there of Elmore City, and it has a little bit of a bowing structure to it. So, I mean, that's intense. That's very intense wind, and that'll do some damage for sure. And that's the other thing. We just came through Sulphur yesterday with other storms that were down there, And then they had a severe thunderstorm warning last night about 2:30 in the morning, or actually this morning, I should say. Yesterday morning. Now, since it's after midnight, man, it's hard to keep track of all this. And then, now I will tell you that there's still a lot of debris from the tornado on April 27th that's still down there in Sulphur. And I'll tell you, 70-mile-per-hour winds blowing debris around, that could just do additional damage. That's not good.
No, it is not good at all as we were tracking these storms as they're making their way to the east here. So if you're watching in Pauls Valley right now, let's head back over to the radar here. If you're watching in Pauls Valley, you will get some storms, some heavy rain that's going to come in the Pauls Valley. It's going to come from this cluster right here, down by Lindsay, southwest of Maysville. This is moving to the east here, headed towards Pauls Valley and Wynnewood. And then for Sulphur, Davis, Turner Falls, this complex that you see here near Velma, west of Katy, that is going to blow to the east here, and it will come into Sulphur in about the next 30 minutes or so. So we're going to continue to watch it right here. We'll continue to do cut-ins right here on KOCO5 as well as online. And as of right now, the tornado risk is quite low. We're going to have to watch out for some strong winds. Again, a 73-mile-an-hour wind gust there just reported moments ago with that cell. So keep with KOCO5 News. We'll bring you the first alert.